Hey guys, Adam Manley here from Good Life Property Management. So you're considering hiring a property manager, but you gotta know all the pros and cons associated with hiring one. Is it gonna be the right decision for you? Is it gonna be the wrong decision for you? There's a lot to consider when hiring a property manager, whether it's your first time or your 10th time. So in today's video, I'm kind of gonna be highlighting some of the pros and cons associated with hiring a property manager, and hopefully that will give you some better insights as to whether or not this is going to be the right decision for you and your property. Alright guys, so before we jump into the first part of the video, which is going to be discussing the pros of hiring a property manager, I just wanted to remind you guys that if you're enjoying this type of content, please like the video and give it a thumbs up, and certainly you can subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks guys. So jumping into the pros of hiring a property manager, I would say the kind of biggest and most advantageous part of bringing one into your property is going to be the expertise that they bring to the table. Property managers have developed a very strong expertise in understanding the legal landscape of your individual market, all of the processes and systems associated with doing everything from getting maintenance done quickly and correctly, from correcting lease violations, from handling basic tenant issues. It's their job and their business to really think about this at a very high level and continue to make it easier for owners and tenants. So I would say the expertise that a property manager brings to the table is probably going to be the best pro associated with using one. The next one is time and energy. So again, managing a property is a full-time job, or we wouldn't be in business. So if you're a homeowner and you have a high degree of time, maybe you're retired, have a lot of energy, or taking care of your property gives you a lot of energy, that's great. But if you don't, if you have a family or a normal job or a busy life, or maybe it just doesn't fire you up the way it does us, that's going to be one of the other main benefits of hiring a property manager, is just the abundance of time and energy you're going to save rather than pouring it into the property. So the third pro of hiring a property manager is going to be maintenance response time. And this may sound a little bit unusual, but keep in mind the tenant is the customer in this whole situation. So getting to their request quickly is a big part of how we make property management successful. If you're working a job and have your own life going on, it may be a little bit difficult to get to a tenant maintenance request in a timely manner. A property manager, on the other hand, again, is going to have a lot of systems and processes in place so that when a tenant does need something maintenance related, it's going to be quickly responded to, and the appropriate action is going to be quickly followed up on as well. That helps your property stay in better condition. It helps your paying customer stay more happy and enjoy the property a lot more as well. So that's something to consider too, is just how much time you're going to have available to handle maintenance requests. And again, a big pro of hiring a property manager. The last item that I feel is probably the biggest pro of hiring a property manager is just the reduced vacancy time that you're gonna have. Again, property managers have really leased sometimes thousands of properties over the course of their tenure, and the processes and systems that they're gonna employ to get your property rented are most likely gonna be a lot more detailed and be able to get the job done more quickly at a better price to a higher quality tenant. So I think the processes that property managers have developed around reducing vacancy, turning over properties, getting it on market, those are really going to be a huge benefit in getting the best quality tenant in the shortest amount of time at the best price possible. So those are what I feel are probably some of the biggest pros of hiring a property manager. We'll segue a little bit and kind of talk about what may be some of the cons of hiring one as well. All right, guys, now we're here for the cons part of the video. Now, of course, there are pros and cons to everything, right? So we got to be honest about what some of the cons might be associated with hiring a property manager too. In my experience, what I tend to find or see as the biggest con with some of the owners I work with is just the general lack of involvement that a homeowner may have working with a property manager. A lot of times, if this was maybe a property with a very high degree of emotional attachment, like maybe you grew up in it, maybe it was your parents' home, maybe it was the first home you ever bought with your significant other, the emotional aspect and not being able to be involved with the day-to-day could be a huge con for some people. Really not being able to control who the property rents to, or not having a large say in the maintenance. I think just the overall lack of involvement for some people just may be a total deal breaker, because a property manager is there by design to kind of keep you out of the weeds for the most part, and kind of insulate you a lot from that kind of day-to-day activity and kind of what's going on in the property. So that, in my opinion, is probably the biggest con, or the con that I see most owners bring up, especially with one of those types of properties. The second one is just cost, right? So property management isn't free, and for some people, the additional cost of hiring a property manager may put them in a precarious situation as far as what they're bringing in each month in projected rent and what they're paying out each month in expenses, whether that's mortgage, insurance, and now property management fees. So again, that could be a serious con for some people. Now, I will say property management fees are considered an expense, so it is tax deductible at the end of the year, but you're still feeling that money come out of your pocket each month. And that's just something that everybody's gonna need to consider. Is this gonna be financially viable? And will bringing a property manager in the mix put you too far in the red to make that situation a reality? All right, guys, so that wraps up another video here. Just to kind of recap again, some of the pros and cons of hiring a property manager. On the pro side, it is the expertise that they're gonna bring to the table, freeing up your time and energy, the whole maintenance process and the response times associated with handling maintenance, and overall reducing your vacancy, whether that's retaining a tenant or reducing the amount of time your property spends empty before it comes on market. Again, on some of the con side, the biggest cons I feel are just the general lack of involvement you may have as an owner, and of course the costs associated with hiring someone. So that wraps up another video here. Again, please like this video and subscribe for more. My name's Adam, that's Olivia behind the camera, and we'll see you guys next time.